Band logos are an integral part of a band's image and marketing strategy. Since at least the 1960s, most rock and roll bands have been extremely consistent with the logos that they choose to use across their careers. Some will vary the basic design from time to time while still staying true to the original aesthetic, and a few have bucked the trend altogether and used different logos on every album or era. But this video isn't about lettered logos. This is about band icons or symbols. Some artists have managed to create imagery that makes the band instantly recognizable without any words at all, taking their marketing to the next level. Most of the time, this was completely intentional. Other times, it happened utterly by accident. These are my top 10 band icons. While the winged scarab beetle didn't appear until their sixth album, 1980's Departure, it became synonymous with the band and appeared on many of their albums in different iterations for the remainder of their career. It was designed by Stanley Mouse and Alton Kelly and was originally intended for a Jimi Hendrix album, but just as the design was finished, Jimi passed away, so it was never used for the album and was later repurposed for Journey. Designed by Hugh Syme, the Starman symbol first appeared in 1976 on the fourth album by Rush, 2112. It was not on the cover, but rather on the inner gatefold. It later appeared as one of the moving pictures on the album of that name, as well as multiple compilation albums, live albums, Neil Peart's drumheads, and tons of merchandise. It was never intended to be the symbol of the band, but became so beloved by fans that it happened naturally. The image first made an appearance on a flyer announcing the release party for the Nevermind album at the Rebar in Seattle on September 13, 1991. It never appeared on an album, but nonetheless became the symbol of the band and appeared on all kinds of merchandise. As to who created it, that is still up for debate over 30 years later. The surviving members of Nirvana claim that Kurt Cobain designed it himself, with some believing that the logo was a riff on the Seattle strip club The Lusty Lady, which had a similar design. But in 2020, former Geffen Records art director Robert Fisher claimed that it was he who drew the image and not Cobain. When the original artwork for Appetite for Destruction was deemed too offensive to be sold by many record stores, the band redesigned the album cover. Axl Rose came up with the idea, but it was brought to life by Billy White Jr., a tattoo artist and illustrator. The image is so iconic that it is still one of the most tattooed images from music to this day. A 2024 study by LL Tattoo analyzed global search volumes related to band-inspired tattoos. Guns N' Roses ranked as the second most tattoo-inspiring rock band worldwide, second only to Pink Floyd. Speaking of Pink Floyd, I'll have something to say about them at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around. The Crimson Ghost first made its way into Misfits lore via a simple concert flyer. Promoting their show at Max's Kansas City on March 28, 1979, the flyer bore that spooky skeletal face, a perfect match for Misfits' horror punk sound. The impact was immediate. By June of that same year, the image found its way onto the cover of their single Horror Business, and the Crimson Ghost evolved from a cool graphic to the definitive Misfits icon. It became a permanent fixture on their album covers, promotional materials, and, most famously, t-shirts. The image is so tied to the band that they have confidently printed the icon on some versions of the shirt without even including their logo. The image was adapted from a 1946 film serial also known as The Crimson Ghost. Iron Maiden's iconic Eddie character is truly a mascot of epic proportions. He has appeared on every Maiden album cover, their stage show, and most merchandise. While there are many different versions of Eddie, and he has depicted many personas, the underlying design is always true to form. Eddie was designed by Derek Riggs and first appeared on their eponymous debut LP in 1980. Inspired by the U.S. presidential seal, this icon was designed by Arturo Vega. He adapted the seal by replacing the arrows with a baseball bat, a nod to Johnny Ramone's love for the sport, and the olive branch with an apple tree branch, symbolizing that the band was, quote, as American as apple pie. While the icon still qualifies for this list because it does not include the band name, the members' names are written around the perimeter of the seal. The image was used on many Ramones album covers and extensively on merchandise. The Winged Man or Swan Song Angel icon associated with Led Zeppelin is actually based on a painting by William Rimmer titled Evening, the Fall of Day. The painting depicts a winged figure, often interpreted as either Icarus, Apollo, or Lucifer. The band adopted the image as their record label's logo, Swan Song Records, and it is also seen on various band merchandise. It was never used on any of their studio albums' artwork. According to the official website of the late Owsley Stanley, also known as Bear, the Grateful Dead's Steely was first designed out of necessity way back in 1969. It started because the band needed a way to identify their road cases while playing festival-style events with other bands. Bear made a stencil with his circle and lightning bolt design and showed it to artist Bob Thomas, who also designed the Dancing Bears. Bob elaborated on Stanley's initial design and came up with the Steal Your Face skull and lightning bolt that has become so famous over the years. The Hot Lips icon was designed by the English art designer John Pash for the Rolling Stones in 1970. It was inspired by the Hindu goddess Kali after Mick Jagger saw her portrayed in a local newspaper. Although it never appeared on the cover art of a Stones studio album until the blue version in 2016, it is featured on the back of the inner sleeve and/or the center sticker of every post-1970 album and single by the Rolling Stones. It is also featured prominently in the band's merchandise and stage show. It has also appeared on the cover of many Stones live albums. There's really no contest that this is the #1 most recognizable rock icon in history. So right now, a bunch of you are screaming at me because I did not include Pink Floyd in this list. I almost did, but I decided not to, and here's why. I would have used their Prism picture from the Dark Side of the Moon cover. But after talking to a friend of mine about it, he mentioned a bunch of their other iconography and didn't even mention the Prism cover. So I decided it wasn't exactly what I was looking for this video. However, I'm not opposed to doing an entire video about all of the Pink Floyd iconography. So if you want to see that, put it in the comments and be sure to subscribe so you know when it's out. Thank you very much for watching.